About a year into this welterweight experiment?
Yeah.
How's it feeling, man? I mean, it's got to feel great about this time of week.
Yeah, it's really not an experiment anymore, man. This is
Yeah.
where I'm here to stay. I mean, I'm too big at lightweight. I mean, it was getting to the point where it was borderline comical. You know what I mean? I go back and watch film, and I'm like, it's not my weight class anymore. I mean, I had a really good run there. I beat a lot of good guys. But this is my new weight class. This is where I feel best. And I'm here to become world champion. I feel like this is the toughest weight class in the UFC, but when it comes down to giving myself the best shot at becoming a world champion, this is where I have to do it. I mean, I was really handicapping myself fighting at lightweight, and I feel good here. I feel right. RDA probably feels the same as I do, you know what I mean? He made the jump a long time ago. He got himself into a title fight, so this is the right weight class for me.
Was this the point of the week before that you were probably feeling the worst? Was that Wednesday and early Thursday when you had 15 more to go?
No, it was like 4 weeks into training camp I felt the worst, you know what I mean? It's, for me, like right now, my weight is, I'm probably about 85 water loaded, and I had to work hard to get here. I'm a big guy. I'm 200 pounds outside of camp, so you can only imagine what I got to do to get to lightweight. And the biggest thing is I quit focusing on my skills, and I was just focusing on the weight cut. So, I'd go to practice, and I'm really not even paying attention to what my coaches tell me to do, the game planning, all the fight-specific training. I'm like, it's in one ear and out the other, because all I can think about is my weight. So it's nice to be able to focus on my skills, and it's nice to feel good, man. Like, it's cool to be at fight week and want to engage with my fans and have a good open workout, crack a good sweat. Like, I used to really have to drag my feet through these things, so it's making this whole experience as a whole better.
Was there a better 1-2 punch to start out at 170 than what you were able to do so far? And then, where does RDA kind of fit into that mix? To be able to have 3 wins in a row at 170 over the guys you then have wins over would be pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, this is the toughest one. I mean, out of anybody I fought in the UFC, this is the stiffest test I've fought to date. Like, it's I mean, the proof's in the pudding. I mean, the guy's former world champion, fought for a belt at 170, and he's still very relevant. He's a guy, I mean, he beat Kevin Lee, and Kevin Lee is like 7 years younger than him. So it's like, for him to be at the age he's at and still beating these young guys, it's like, I feel like the toughest guys to compete against are the guys that are at the veteran status, that have seen it all and are in like their mid-30s, like they're still in their groove. Like, this is a guy that's still in his groove, but I got to go out there and derail him. So I'm really excited for the opportunity to compete against him, but I got to get my hand raised on Saturday night.
What has been your impression being here in Raleigh, and what does it do for the sport to have UFC here?
I love being here in Raleigh. It's cool to come to these cities that haven't had the exposure to the UFC yet, because everybody wants to come see the spectacle, you know what I mean? And it's an honor to be one of the people to put on. I'm co-main event, so it's like I'm on the poster, I'm around town, there's a buzz. It's good to be here, and it's cool to have like a good connection. There's a guy who's a wrestling coach at NC State, Adam Hall, and I grew up watching him wrestle on the same circuit where I'm from in Washington. So it's like they welcomed us in open arms. So I've been at NC State College, using their training room, getting some practices in, watching those guys, and I went to the game last night, went to the hockey game. It's just a good hometown feel. I love fighting in Las Vegas, but I love just as much to come to places like Raleigh, North Carolina, and get to share this experience with you guys.
Not that the names that you were fighting, 4 or 5 years ago were bad names by any stretch, but the names you're fighting now, does that give you that kind of satisfaction that what you were trying to attain when you were on The Ultimate Fighter, you reached that level?
Oh, yeah.
Now you're there with those guys. Now you're not just a guy who's fighting those names, you're one of those names.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'll be 8 years I've been in the UFC this March. So it's like I guess I've achieved that veteran status, but it's nice to be in this fight with RDA and still feel like the up-and-comer. Like, I feel like the up-and-comer. I'm going up against the veteran. I'm going up against the guy who's a former world champion. In my last, since Kevin Lee, who he fought for a belt after we fought, Anthony Pettis, former world champion, Carlos Condit, former world champion, Diego Sanchez, former contender, fought for a belt. This is my 5th champion. This is the 5th guy that I've fought in a row that's been in a title fight or has been a champion. So these are the fights I want, and that's how you become a champion, man. I gotta beat these guys, and it's a lot easier than it sounds a lot easier than it is. You know what I mean? So it's an honor.
Can you break him down real quick for us? I mean, obviously we know he's good on the ground, but we know, the majority of your wins are there as well. So.
Well, I'll break it down for you real simple. He's got really good stand-up. He's got a hard leg kick. He's got great takedown defense. He's got good submissions. Got my work cut out for me.
Notice you did nothing but Chili Peppers up there.
Yeah.
You and I have had these Pearl Jam discussions
Yeah,
before,
oh yeah,
so I'd
yeah.
be remiss to not ask if you'd heard the new single.
I have not yet, but I
Alright,
did see that they released it
talk
on
later.
Twitter. So yeah,
Good.
I'm excited for it. Yeah, this little PJ sounds good.
What's your game plan on Saturday? Everything you just mentioned.
Yeah.
How do you plan to counter that? How do you plan to continue to rise against the welterweight ranks?
Well, I can't reveal too much, but you know, for as well-rounded and complete as a fighter as he is, there's obviously everybody's got holes in their game. Nobody's perfect, you know what I mean? Everybody's got holes that can be exploited by another man. So there's some things that we're going to look to capitalize on. But I'm expecting a 3-round fight. I'm expecting to be in there for 15 minutes. I'm expecting to, at some point, have maybe be on the bad end of some exchanges. But I'm also expecting to be on the good end of some exchanges, and that goes for the ground, that goes for the wrestling, that goes for everything. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a back and forth fight. But I'm very confident I'm going to get my hand raised. Yes, sir.